Good afternoon, everyone. We are so happy to be here this afternoon. My name is Mary Elizabeth Bowden, and I am the founder of Seraph Brass. And being here in Raleigh is sort of like being in my hometown. I currently live in Winston-Salem with my husband, who's also a trumpet player, David Dash, and you can see him on stage this year. He's doing another 1 year with the North Carolina Symphony here in Raleigh. So it's nice to be in my home state. So we have a very exciting program for you this afternoon that includes a lot of popular classical arrangements as well as some new compositions for the brass quintet as well, showing a wide variety of what we like to do. And that first piece you heard was the prelude to Norwegian composer Edvard Grieg's Holberg Suite. He originally arranged it for the piano. He wrote it for the piano, and the most popular version that you've heard is for string orchestra. And we've adapted it for the brass to give it a new color of sound, which is one of our favorite things to do as a group. And now we're going to switch worlds to the world of opera. And we are going to visit La Traviata by Verdi. And today I will be playing the role of Violetta on my G trumpet. This is sort of a hybrid, a cross between the E-flat trumpet that I was just playing and the piccolo. It's in between those ranges. So when the trumpets get smaller, they get higher in pitch. And in this aria, Sempre Libera, Always Free, Violetta is singing about wanting to keep her freedom and her party lifestyle. And as she's wondering about this, she hears Alfredo, who is played today by Rachel on the horn. She hears Alfredo singing from the window, and she is wondering if she should give up the party lifestyle to stay committed to her true love.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victoria Garcia, and I am the trombonist of Seraph Brass. I am very honored to have been playing this group now for officially 1 year. They are, yes, thank you so much. They are by far the best people, the best musicians that I've ever been surrounded with, and they have by far made me a better musician in this past year than I've ever done by myself in 20. So thank you so much, ladies, for making my life an absolute dream. I'm really excited to present this next piece to you because this next piece is my solo feature. Yes, and it's by an Italian composer named Rossini, and Rossini was born in the late 1700s and lived around until the mid-1800s. And he is a composer who is widely known for his operas. So he composed pieces like William Tell, Otello, Barbara of Seville, and fun fact, did you know in his lifetime he composed 39 operas? 39 operas. Now, I will not be playing an opera today because, as we know, an opera can be anywhere between 3 to 6 hours in length. I don't think anybody has time for a solo feature that is 3 hours in length. So I'm really excited because the piece I'm going to be playing is not an opera. It is actually a series of songs that Rossini wrote called Les Siores Musicales. And the piece that I'll be playing is called La Danza, which is the 8th song out of 12 out of that list. And what makes this piece so special to me is that it was not only arranged for brass quintet, but it was also composed by my colleague James Markey of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. The fact that I can call him a working colleague is an honor because he is amazing, but he did such an amazing job of not only arranging Rossini's themes and works for brass quintet, but he also made it so that people could see what the trombone is capable of. Yeah, you're in for a wild ride. So, so I am now happy to present to you La Danza.
You can keep clapping. That was amazing. Woo! Did you all know the trombone could do that? I did not. Wow. Great job, Vicki. My name is Rachel Velvikis, and I play the French horn here, and I live in Wisconsin. And there's a Packers game today, so go Packers. Sorry. Now, this next piece we are going to be playing is written for the brass quintet this time. And it is by an up-and-coming, actually he's pretty well known by now. He's an African-American composer named Kevin Day. And he wrote this specifically for the brass quintet, like I said, but it is his first ever brass quintet that he has composed, which is kind of surprising because he played the tuba growing up. And the first movement that you'll hear, it's entitled Promenade, he based that off of his tuba playing experiences. So listen for that kind of cool quality. And it explodes right out of the gate with a really cool rhythmic feature, which kind of repeats throughout the whole movement. And the next movement we're going to be playing is titled Lunaire, which is an homage to the moon. And I find it so poignant to be playing this in an all-female brass quintet because the moon is kind of a feminine figure, if you will. And the third movement, Flamagre, it's basically based on a very popular electronic artist that he really admires called Flying Lotus, so check them out if you haven't. And it is, again, just full of energy, and we're so excited to have been a part of the commission. Consortium, I can never think of that word. Sorry, consortium. And it was put on by the Axiom Brass, hired him to compose this wonderful piece, and Seraph Brass has a little bit of piece of that, so enjoy.
My name is Christina Katz-Doherty. I'm the tuba player with Seraph Brass, and I actually just joined the group in March, so I'm having a lot of fun playing with these awesome women. The next piece we're going to play is a piece that has been taken from a violin and piano piece by Clara Schumann and made into a tuba feature for tuba solo and for brass players. So Clara Schumann was the wife of the famous composer Robert Schumann, and during her time, she was known as a highly skilled concert pianist and composer. Sadly, when her husband Robert died, she stopped composing her own works in order to become a champion of his music and to secure his legacy. So this piece, The Three Romances, of which we're playing the first, is one of the last things that Clara ever wrote. And one of the reasons that I picked this piece to be my tuba feature is because this piece, Clara originally wrote it more as a piece of chamber music for violin and piano than a piece for solo violin and piano accompaniment. And I just really love that about her writing. And in this arrangement, what you'll hear is that these four amazing players have tons of luscious textures and beautiful melodies that they're playing as I'm also playing beautiful melodies and textures. And so each player really has their own agency in this piece. And so I invite you to sit in the low, dark sounds and take in some of Clara Schumann's iconic romanticism.
Good evening, everyone, or is it afternoon? I think it's afternoon. My name is Rachel Samayo, and it's a pleasure to be here with you all. Love playing for a full house of interested individuals, so thank you very much for being here. This next piece will be Hungarian Rhapsody number 2 by Franz Liszt. Now, Franz Liszt was a fantastic superstar pianist, but he also was a great composer as well, and he actually wrote 19 rhapsodies. But I believe that number 2, his second rhapsody, is by far the most famous. I think when you start hearing this, you might recognize some of these melodies, and that is because it is wildly popular. And it was wildly successful after its 1851 premiere. And since then, it's been adapted and reorchestrated for a variety of things, namely some movies, commercials, TV shows, and something that you might have watched it in cartoons. You might have heard of some cartoons. Tell me if you know Tom and Jerry, or this very obscure one called Bugs Bunny. I think a lot of us grew a love of opera from watching these cartoons on Saturday mornings, eating cereal. So I know I was one of those. But in this arrangement for quintet, you'll hear that everyone will have an opportunity to shine. You'll see that we'll be stretching out tempos, we'll be very expressive, and more importantly, we'll be having a lot of fun. So enjoy Hungarian Rhapsody number 2.
So that was Kevin McKee's Vuelta del Fuego, the Ride of Fire. Some pretty tough lines in there, and I think we should give a round of applause to Rachel on the horn. Awesome. So it's really cool for me to be in Raleigh because my siblings actually both went to UNC Chapel Hill. So, you know, go UNC, not Duke. So yeah, it was awesome to visit them while they were in school here, so it's really cool to be back. The next piece we're going to play is a piece by David Chesky, which was written for the Empire Brass Quintet in 1989. The Empire Brass Quintet are some idols of ours. They're a really famous, awesome brass quintet, and we just love listening to their albums. So if you want to check that out sometime, as well as checking out our album, that would be awesome. This piece is called Central Park Morning, and it is very melancholic, a little bit hopeful, and the trumpet players, Rachel and Mary, will be trading these beautiful singing melodies, which sometimes might sound a little improvisational, and they trade them, and then towards the end they sort of come together and play it together. So today, 21 years since that dark day in New York, we would like to dedicate this piece, Central Park Morning, to the victims of 9/11.
This next piece will feature myself on the B-flat trumpet, and it is Ora Staccato by Grigoris Denicu. And this piece was made famous initially for virtuosic violin piece, made famous by Heifetz, the great violinist Heifetz. Since then, a lot of instruments have adapted this piece to suit their own needs, and what you'll hear tonight is trumpet with brass quintet. Now, I first heard this piece by the great Mexican trumpet player Rafael Mendez. When I was in high school, I didn't have that much to listen to, but I had Canadian Brass, Maurice Andre, Wynton Marsalis, and Rafael Mendez. I was a big trumpet, yeah. But what I liked about Rafael Mendez, besides his beautiful tone and articulation, is his musicality, even when he was playing really hard virtuosic type of things. This piece is very short and sweet. It has a technique we call double tonguing, and that enables me to go a little bit faster with my tonguing. Instead of going tu 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 tu, I'm going to alternate with some syllables, tu ku tu ku tu ku tu ku tu ku, so that I can kind of get through some of those really fast lines. Please sit back and enjoy my rendition of Ora Staccato.
This next piece is by American composer Rina Asmal, and she's currently based out of LA, and her family is also from India. So a lot of her music combines classical Western music and Hindustani music. And she's become a close friend of mine over the past couple of years. We've performed her entire brass quintet, and this particular movement is the third movement of that. Stay tuned. She's currently writing me a trumpet concerto that I'll premiere later in the season. And she's also written a short miniature for me. So a lot of her music, she's really getting into the trumpets and the brass sounds. And this piece, Tudorana, was originally written for an all-women's choir. And you can hear that recording on her website to see how this contrasts with the brass version. And the word Tudorana is a conglomeration of two words. The Italian word tutti, which means all, and Tirana, which is a Hindustani type of music. And the choir has these syllables that they sing that sounds very familiar to double tonguing, which Rachel just showed us. And so you'll hear that all throughout the piece, and it transcribes really, really nicely for the brass. The other two movements that we're not performing today were also originally from different compositions of Rena's. One for string quartets and another one for voice and piano. And so she's adapted works to make them work for the brass quintet, which I find very interesting, rather than coming from a place of just writing for brass and seeing what happens, but taking something that already exists and making it into the brass, I think creates a very, very special and unique sound. And one of our missions as a group is to bring new music into the world, particularly those of women composers. And so we're really proud to play this work. And we have another commission coming up later in the season by American composer Jennifer Jolly. It will be a brass quintet concerto with wind ensemble. And so if you're in the DC area, we'll be premiering that with the Pershing's own Army Band in early March. If you want to, I know it's just a few hour drive away from here. And so without further ado, we hope that you enjoy Tutorana.
So we are going to change moods drastically on this next piece. So that was very upbeat and moving and fast. We have all this double tonguing. Now we're going to go back to some single tonguing and some nice moving air. The piece we'll be playing next is by another female composer named Catherine McMichael, and we are going to be playing the lush and beautiful piece called Virgo. Now Virgo is part of a larger multi-movement work called Asteria, which is also the name of our album, which will be sold right outside in the lobby after the performance, where we, it's so convenient. So, and this piece depicts women characters as constellations, and the constellations we'll be playing right now is Virgo, which is the lover of justice. Now you can see our trumpet players have yet again pulled a fast one on us and changed instruments. This instrument is called the flugelhorn, or as we like to jokingly say, the soprano tuba. And the flugelhorn has a much darker sound. It's a lower sound, and you're going to hear that nice change in timbre as we play this next piece for you. So I present Virgo, Lover of Justice.
Thank you all so very much. Are you having fun still?
All right.
That's too bad because it's almost over. I mean that though. We really always have such a great time, and it is such a treat to play in front of a full house. It's been a while since that's happened, you know. There's a little pandemic that happened there, you know, no big deal. Just kidding. And this next piece is going to be our last, unfortunately. It's called Go, and it's by a trumpet player named Anthony DiLorenzo, who is also in a brass quintet called the Center City Brass Quintet. And he was in this with his dear friend Steve Witzer, the trombone player. And Steve actually passed away, so he dedicated this to his indomitable spirit. And you can just really tell by the way we play this piece and how it's written that he really must have had a special, special energy, because wow, this thing is fast. And I dare you to try to count how many times the time signature changes. It's a bunch of times. I'll just leave it at that. Now, at the end of this, you will hear us scream go, but that is not your cue to leave, okay? Because we have stuff for sale. And honestly, we would love to meet you. We will be out there in the lobby, in the hall, and we would love to meet and greet with you all. So without further ado, go.